I'm probably like a day late on this, talking about all of the Sony announcements and stuff, but I'm not really making the videos for the YouTube algorithm here. I just kind of wanted to take a second, collect myself, and kind of talk to you guys about some of my favorite things from it, because there was a lot. And yes, we have the hardware reveal, and it looks ugly and stupid, but I also really kind of like the way it looks. We could save that for another video. I wanted to talk about the games here, because some of these games go beyond just PlayStation, and some people are going to end up playing these games either way. So there was a lot. I just want to jump into some of my favorite stuff. I don't have time to cover everything. I do apologize, but could we could we talk about the first thing? I don't know if you guys were watching live, but the way it started was essentially like with a Grand Theft Auto Online ad. But the way they did it, okay, like all black, Rockstar Game logo pops up. Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather. Are you kidding me? That was literally did anyone else feel like the Mr. Krabs meme? I was like, that is essentially like the first Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer from like 8 years ago or something like that. And watching that trailer so many times, I just had this moment of being like, what is happening? That was really weird and really bizarre. Whatever, I digress. The first big game I wanted to talk about is probably not one you'd think I would highlight as much, but that's Destruction All-Stars. Is that what it's called? Stupid name. I will say that the name is not very good at all, but looking at that game, if you can kind of look past the art style, at first I was like, that looks kind of meh. But this looks really cool. First of all, I love car combat games, but this just seems like pure distilled video game fun, and that's what I'm still looking for here. Not every game to me needs to be this incredible epic adventure of a woman climbing a mountain. I just want cars to crash into each other, and this looks really great for that, especially with what it seems like they're doing, where you can hop out of the car and interact in the environment, and it looks like all the characters, like there are specific characters for each car, and they all have these like wacky running animations, and you can like run on walls and do jumps and flips as the cars crash into each other. You see pieces of the cars flying everywhere, kind of showcasing at least a little bit of new and exciting technology all going down. I just saw that and I was like, I really want to play that. I really want to play that. And I think that's what this kind of should all be about, right? Also, Hitman 3 was a nice surprise. I know like they kind of set it up before that it was going to be like IO Interactive and a Hitman thing, but the way that trailer played out with like the FBI agents in the woods, I don't know why I didn't click yet. I'm like, what is this? What is this? And then Agent 47, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Cool. I'm excited that it's like the conclusion to this new trilogy of Hitman games, because this formula, I really like it, but it's starting to burn me out. So like I'm excited to just see this kind of wrap up and maybe they pursue something different. Yeah, I just really like Hitman, so I didn't expect him to show up, but I'm excited, especially in terms of just like third party games, you know, which we do have a lot to talk about. I do want to point out, where's PSVR? We didn't even get like a little bit of like a hi, like a hello to PlayStation VR. Nothing. Like, PSVR doesn't even exist. Sorry, VR fans. I am one. I was hoping for at least one little nugget. I don't expect them to focus on it here. Obviously, there are bigger things to talk about. But knowing that this PlayStation 5 is going to apparently support PlayStation VR, and we've heard rumblings of, like, an upgraded PlayStation VR, I was hoping for, like, a little morsel, you know? But we did get a little morsel of Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is something that I didn't expect at all. I wanted to see a tease of a new Spider-Man game, but I expected Insomniac to not have that yet, maybe to be working on something else. And to their credit, the Ratchet and Clank looks incredible. The world loading, the dimension shifting looks like an incredible example of next-gen hardware. That's something I've wanted to see. I've wanted to see the power in action. But back to Spider-Man, I'm all about this. I'm really excited that he is getting his own game, his own focus. It's interesting. There's a lot of discussion online about whether or not Spider-Man 2, the sequel, was supposed to be a Miles game. I thought it was going to be a Miles Peter game. So if there is still a Spider-Man 2 after this, I hope they don't fast forward over Miles' training, because I thought it would have been really fun to play a game where it's both Peter and Miles kind of back and forthing. I don't know, but this one being solely Miles focused seems cool, because you get to focus on like all of his cool powers and stuff. Also, you can tell from the trailer it's New York City in the winter, which just seriously, someone's like, Jake, what do you want in a video game? If you ask me as like a 5-year-old, I'd be like, Spider-Man in the snow. Like, just two of my favorite things. I don't know. Also, something I walked away from now, like thinking a day later, really excited about, Little Devil Inside, which is a game that we've known about, actually. It was a Kickstarter game, but the whole time I'm watching the trailer, I'm like, this looks incredible. this looks incredible. I feel like it's a little familiar, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's just like the art style, that indie style. I was like, this looks amazing. And then the title dropped and I was like, oh yeah, that game. Now I'm 1,000% on board. Also, I really like that they took the time to show a lot of Deathloop, another game that we knew was coming, a Bethesda joint, an Arcane joint. But now we got to see it really blown out, and I really like what they're doing. That initial, I think, what was it, the Game Awards or E3 last year? They dropped like the Deathloop trailer, kind of setting it up, but like here, seeing it in action, it seems like an Arcane game, like a Dishonored or something like that, but more focused on just like fast-paced action and not as much like a RPG slowness. Does that make sense? Like, it just seems a little bit more like heightened. It's taking that formula, but it's dropping it in like a new thing. And the characters, like the two assassins facing off, and like that whole setup and the whole loop system just seems really exciting and unique. And I think we need that. You know, a lot of people complain that all we get is sequels. Hello, this right here is them trying something really cool. Also, I want to mention it real quick. I don't have too much to say about it and people are going to get mad, but the new Horizon game looks cool. I don't really have too much to say about it other than, all right, sweet. I wasn't like the most massive fan of the original game. I'm still willing to jump into this one. Also, I like Lance Reddick. But I think Project Athia is really cool, or Project Athia. That trailer just had me going, what is this? This looks crazy. This looks like a next-gen thing, dude. And it is a Square Enix joint. Apparently, it is being like conceived and written, and the story by like a bunch of big-time Hollywood and video game storytellers. Also, it is the Final Fantasy team behind it, which is kind of all I needed to hear. If anything, you know what it kind of looked like? It looked like that Unreal Engine demo, like that PlayStation 5 new Unreal Engine demo we got like a couple weeks back, but like an actual game, not just like a slice of a game, and that is exciting to me. Also, while we're on the subject of that, I do want to say, if any of you guys saw me on the like YouTube Jeff Keighley live stream and popped in the chat and said hi, thank you. Like, thanks for showing up for me. That was really exciting. I was super nervous, but I've always wanted to do something like that, so thanks if you watched. But the other big thing I wanted to focus on is Resident Evil 8 Village, or Village 8. Resident Evil, like the way the title is, I should probably Google it. Hang on. Okay, Resident Evil 8 Village. Wow. So, straight up, guys, this is, I said this on the Game Ranks Friday show, but this is 100% my most anticipated game now. The Last of Us is like almost out. Cyberpunk is right around the corner. For me, right now, it's basically this Resident Evil 8 and Dying Light 2. The games that I am the most excited for. This trailer was absolutely incredible. So from the shots at night, walking through the snowy woods, that looks like gameplay. That looks like something I'm very excited to walk through with my controller. Then also just getting a glimpse of this spooky haunted village. It seems like it's kind of like a twist on Romania. We did see a screenshot with the new Attaché inventory system that kind of is like Resident Evil 4's, with a currency that is a reference to Romanian currency. But you have like this spooky, shitty Halloween farm town, and of course, at the top of that town, there is a giant castle. Sorry, there are werewolves. I'm so excited that like all of these leaks came true, because it does sound really great. I got werewolves at the event. I wanted to see the sequel to The Order 1886, but at least I still got this. I got werewolves. Ethan is in it again. Hopefully they make him more interesting. I want to give Ethan another shot. I want to give the whole new Resident Evil thing a shot, because like I loved 7 as a game. I really, really did. I loved it. I didn't love it as much as a Resident Evil game. I loved it as a survival horror game that felt kind of like Resident Evil, but in terms of like the lore and just like the Resident Evil vibe, it was like not totally there. This seems like they're still continuing down that path, but given me a little bit of what I've been playing Resident Evil games for like what, 20 something years now? Jesus. You have a haunted mansion, you have the creepy castle, you have people in this creepy farm town that seem hostile. It's very, very evocative of Resident Evil 4. They know exactly what they're doing. But I don't mind that. I think that's really cool, because it's not just like a carbon copy. And then you see all this other crazy stuff. Like I said, werewolves. You see a haunted mansion with like these like spooky, sexy witch women. You see a spooky, ghoulish old lady in this, like, framed in this haunting shot. You see a mysterious man with sunglasses who could literally be like 4 Resident Evil characters I could think of off the top of my head. Not to mention the way it ends with Chris Redfield, and it's like the real Chris Redfield. You guys have heard me rant over and over again about how dumb the reveal of Chris was at 7 for me. It was just not satisfying because I was like, who is this guy? Now we got thick boy boulder punching Chris Redfield again. Still, I don't know what they're doing with him. I have so many questions. I have so many ideas and theories of where it's going to go. We can spend a whole video on that, but that's the thing that blew me away the most during this whole thing. Of course, there's still more questions. What other games are we getting? How many of these games are going to be launch games? It doesn't seem like a lot of them are going to be. How much is the PlayStation 5 going to cost? When exactly is it dropping? All that stuff we're probably going to be talking about more soon. But I just wanted to throw out some love to the most important thing, the video games. So now that we've had like a day to kind of sit and lull on it, I do want to know what you guys are thinking. Like if you have your like a top 5 favorite games announced from this thing, I would love to hear something like that. Also, if you're watching the day this video goes live, there's still so much new video game news going out. Like there's the Guerrilla Collective today. This is like a big long kind of like indie reveal thing. There's the PC Gamer show thing. There's so much gaming news coming out constantly. So good luck keeping up because I'm having fun. Thank you guys though. If you like watching what I do here, it's just talk about what I enjoy. Clicking the like button does help. But thank you for being here. You can subscribe because video games. See you guys later.